I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey guys!
Hey!
We're super excited! Welcome to the Nailed It Season 4, Episode 1. We've been waiting for it to come back, so we're super excited. Have a full panel here with us today. And we're going to get some news and gossip. We're going to do a really fun special segment by Alyse Acosta. And we're going to get all into Wes in this crazy outfit. and then we're also going to talk a little bit about have our favorite judge and host gone Hollywood on us. When it opens, they're in bedazzled sunglasses and all types of stuff. Before we get into it, I want to introduce you to our full awesome panel. We'll start off first with Eric Jewell. He describes himself as an awful baker and awful in the kitchen, just like the contestants. I want you guys to know I did not say that about him, but he said his specialty is banana bread. Welcome, Eric Jewell.
Hey guys, happy to be here. It's true, I am an absolute mess in the kitchen unless I'm making banana bread. Everyone who's had it has said it's the only good thing that I am able to bake.
Okay, impressive. A signature dish. Okay. Next up, we have Lisa K. Satchell, who's a huge fan of Nailed It and guilty of many decorating and baking fails, she says. Welcome, Lisa.
Hey guys. I think I'm a professional baker, just like everybody on this show, but I'm really not that great.
And then next up is Alyse Acosta Milan, and she is obsessed with baking shows and loves binge watching previous episodes of Nailed It. Welcome, Alyse.
Hey guys, I'm so excited to be part of this panel. I love to bake, but like the other two, sometimes it doesn't come out that great, which is kind of sad because my sister actually bakes for a profession. So it's kind of sad that I can't bake, but at least somebody in the family can.
That's a good point. You have somebody who can. And I am your moderator, Kay Montgomery. I'm a frequent home baker. I have a crazy intense sweet tooth, and I am a huge fan of Mr. Chocolate, AKF Chef Jacque. So I was so happy to see him back with us this episode. So let's get right into this episode. The theme was literature, which I thought was really interesting. We meet our amateur bakers. Well, first off, our guest judge is Matt Walsh. Do you guys watch Veep? Did you guys recognize him at all?
Yeah,
I had seen him a couple times in like just guest starring in episodes. I knew him enough and I was like, oh, this is going to be a very fun guest judge right here.
I felt the same way. I love him. I think he's hilarious. Lisa, did you recognize him?
I did not, but he was a great time.
He was a great time.
Funny. Very funny.
Really funny, really involved. Yeah. So I loved it. So we meet our amateur bakers, Gail, who's a grandma with 7 grandkids, and also I guess she teaches English for middle school on the side, right? And
I believe so, yep.
And then Greg, who is from Georgia, who, I mean, guys, at the end of this show, I feel like I'm just going to be saying bursting.
Definitely, yes.
So funny. And then Fish, for short, it's just his nickname, who makes board games for a living, which I thought was just really interesting profession.
Awesome.
And has a girlfriend, Sam. And so he said, I'm baking. Everything I'm doing today is for Sam. Okay, so we get into our first round, which is stained glass cookies based off Romeo, Juliet, and Shakespeare. I just want to hear your overall thoughts when you first saw, when they do the rollout and unveil the item that they're going to have to make. Alyse, what were your thoughts?
Honestly, first of all, royal icing never goes well on the show. Like no one ever gets it right. Like it's never an easy thing to deal with, to make. So that was my first problem. Then I saw the stained glass. I was like, do they have to paint that? And then they were melting the sand. I was like, really complicated. Like this is not like an amateur thing to have to do.
Yeah, definitely. That's so funny. You're like, did you have to paint it? That's what I thought. So I was like, how are they going to make stained glass? What were you thinking, Alyse, when you first saw it?
Well, I thought it was funny, like before they even opened it, and it was kind of like the anticipation of what are they going to have to make. And then she says, go grab one. And they're all just kind of taking their sweet time. And I'm thinking, I want the show, I am hauling butt to get to pick which one I want, because I want the easiest one, which, I mean, let's be real, none of them are easy, but I still want the one that will probably be the easiest. And they kind of walk over there and then they take the ones that they want. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, like Shakespeare is just going to be done so wrong because they are not going to nail it. They are probably all going to fail it.
So which one would you have chosen?
I felt like I wanted to do Juliet because how they ended up doing it at the end, it didn't look like Juliet whatsoever. So I kind of wanted to go in there and try to help them out a little bit, but I probably would have done the same exact job because I am not good with like artistic stuff at all. So it's kind of like just pick whichever one you have and try to do the best you can, I guess.
Yeah, just do the best you can. Yeah. So Eric, first out of the gate, did you have a favorite? Did you say like, I'm going to root for this person, or I really like this person, I think they have a shot?
Just from Greg's attitude, I was in his camp the entire time. He had my favorite line of the whole show, which was right after they finished the first competition, he goes, "It's over." Nicole's like, "What?" He's like, "It's over. I've already won."
I've already won.
I had to pause it because I was just laughing so hard. And I was like, this dude is my favorite contestant in all of Nailed It. I'm so happy for him.
He was so funny. He came through with gusto. I love a contestant that's like, that has zero skill, but still like all of the confidence.
Yeah. Oh, he had no skill to back up his confidence. And I was like, I'm rooting for you so hard right now, dude. I want you to win so badly.
So they come out, you know, the reason why I love Jacque is he always explains, you know, they sit down and they're in there, you know, Nicole's like, how did we make this? And he tells you how you have to crush the candy and then melt it. But first you have to roll out the dough and cut the cookie and like make the royal icing, which we all know is really hard to do. So I was like, how are they going to be crushing this candy? And then I realized they're Jolly Ranchers, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Have you guys ever done anything even close to this? Crushing candy and baking?
Makes it look so easy. He's just like, you just do this and then you do this. And I'm thinking, I feel like you skipped a few steps. Like that's not simple at all.
But that's like the downfall of trying to make, like when you see something on Pinterest, you're like, I can make that. The instructions are easy. And that's how they get you every time.
Girl,
I would have done the same thing as Gail. Gail completely forgot like halfway through. She's like, oh, I didn't put any candy in there. I would have given up. It was like, well, too far gone. We're just not having a stained glass window here.
Wait,
absolutely not.
Forgot the actual candy.
Didn't know what the candy was.
I was gagging. And then didn't Gail put rock candy in?
She used rock candy and it did not melt in the slightest in order to work. That thing crumbled as soon as it came out of the oven.
She tried.
But at first I thought it was such a great idea. I was like, oh yeah, you don't even have to crush it. Like rock candy already crushed up. Mm-hmm. Get it, Gail. Beating the system. You can't beat the system, Gail.
And in Gail's defense, rock candy is used a lot when baking cakes. So like maybe there was thought process there. People throw it like on cakes for decorations, like as crystals. So I was like, okay, Gail, but it didn't work.
It did not work at all this time.
And can I just say how Gail was talking about the fact that she teaches English at her school, so she wanted to do Shakespeare justice. The woman did not do him justice at all.
She did her best, but
I felt so bad for Gail because I have 100% been in that situation. I have a recipe for carrot cake and it has all these different things that go in it. Walnut, pineapple, like cinnamon. And so I was making it from scratch. No bake, no box, you know, everything. I put the pans in the oven and turned around and there were 3 cups of shredded carrot sitting on my countertop. I made a carrot cake.
Without carrot?
Forgot the carrot. So then I had to pull them out and try and mix the carrot in while it's in the pan. I was like, wow. I was like, wow, I'm Gail. Like when I saw her do that, I was like, I really am Gail.
It's one of my favorite things when they just take it out halfway through and just try and add an ingredient. I'm like, no, this is not gonna work.
We're too far in now.
We're too far gone.
Yeah. Have you seen this show before? That did never work.
Some of them really haven't seen the show before. I don't understand how you can go on Nailed It and you've never watched it before.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
Wait. Or like our friend bursting. I'm surprised his bag didn't burst open. Did you guys see what he did with the tip?
Yeah,
That
Yeah,
was
put it on the wrong side.
hysterical. My friends
was
and I,
hilarious.
we were just watching it this morning, and as soon as he did that, he just put everything in, and I was like, why is the tip outside of the bag? This is not gonna go well for him. This is gonna go very
That's a rookie
poorly.
mistake, but honestly, anybody could make that. I feel like I would do that as well.
Oh, I've done that before. Definitely.
Definitely. I think it's also one of those things like I'm in too deep now. I forgot to put the tip in the bag and the icing's already in the bag. Might as well.
Might as well just go.
Let's just try and make it work. Let's just work with it. So, Eric, at that point, did you regret that you had bagged the Greg horse at that point? Or were you like, I'm in
No,
still?
I very quickly regretted my horse in this race. I very quickly regretted it. I figured from the beginning, I was like, oh, Fish is looking really good right now. I think he's going to easily pull ahead. But there was a part of me that was still just like, come on, Greg. Come on.
You got this.
Please pull through for me. And I was not disappointed because I didn't expect him to win. So.
Okay, so then we get to the judging, which is probably the best part. I love that the window comes down and they have to say with gusto, nailed it. Like no matter what they have failed it. They always are like, nailed it with gusto. I just absolutely love that part.
You gotta own it.
You gotta own it.
Yes.
You're right, Alyse. You gotta sell it. You have got to sell it. So Gail does Romeo.
Did she though?
Exactly.
Have a window.
I thought Nicole was gonna crack a tooth. Like when she was munching on that, I was like, is that like part of it or what's happening here?
It was
okay.
It was not a pretty sight to look at.
Matt was laughing so hard he was wheezing. Like I love that. I love that part. That was one of my favorite parts of the whole episode. So Greg's turn comes and his window is like Matt says it's like a time portal, and then they do like a time portal flashback and they go back to Greg's life. They show like a picture of Greg from 3rd grade. That was
literally
hilarious.
The editing of this show is like undefeated. It's so funny always. Yeah.
Isn't it? I feel like in season 4 it's even better than it's ever been, because for them to pull out pictures of him throughout his life and send us through a time portal, I was like, well, what is happening?
I was not expecting to see that at all. Absolutely not. That
was so funny. So Greg has indoctrinated everyone to his language because Matt can only describe Greg's work as, we know, burstingness. Fish did Juliet, and he had the window glass, and he did Juliet. Were you guys surprised to see his end product? Lisa Kay, what did you think?
With the process he had, I wasn't surprised at the end, because I was like, okay, he's doing good, especially in comparison to everybody else. But when it came out, I was like, okay, that's exactly what I thought it looked like. And it looks enough like what we needed it to look like. He did a good job.
Yeah. Alyse, what did you think about Fish's finished project?
I mean, I am not in their shoes. So if you can complete that in the time given, I give props to anybody, because I think like one day I want to be on that show, and just the stress of the time constraints and you don't know what you're doing and you're running around the kitchen. So to actually be able to have a finished product that actually kind of somewhat resembles what you're supposed to be doing, I give you props for that.
Yeah, I agree. I think so much of it is getting the colors right and then just trying to get all the elements together, even if they like aren't really well executed. Right. Okay, so so Wes comes out to deliver the winner. The winner was Fish, right? For this for this round. Eric, what did you think about Wes' Shakespeare-esque outfit situation?
Any time that Wes is on the screen, I'm just smiling. Like, no matter what no matter what the context is, I always love seeing him. I love Nicole's obsession with him. I think it is the best bit that this show does, and seeing him in full Shakespearean costume, I was cackling. It was hysterical. I couldn't stop laughing.
And the growth from season. Sorry, go ahead.
No, just the bald wig sent me. I was just done when I saw the bald wig. Go ahead, Lisa and Kay.
I was gonna say the growth from season 1 to now is hilarious because at first you could tell he really didn't want to do it, but now he's kind of like accepted it and leaned into it and having fun. And like they make him do more because of that, and I love it.
Yeah, so funny. So then we get to the final round, which is a tribute to Moby Dick because it is literature is the theme. There is a giant whale coming out of a book.
No big deal.
No big deal. Is it Ahab or Ishmael?
Yes.
The guy in the
Ahab.
Okay. Ahab's in the little boat.
If you can call it a boat.
Waves of the ocean. I mean, it's just like a lot going on. It's beautiful. It always is. And so the whale is made of rice cereal. The little boat is and the men are made of modeling chocolate, and then the waves are buttercream frosting. So let's get into it. Gail again continues to forget key elements of this blue velvet cake, which is like the book part. Key, very important elements. What's your reaction, Eric, to Gail?
I felt so bad for Gail. Nothing was going right for her ever. Like it was I was really you can't catch a break. I felt so bad.
She could not.
I was just so happy when it finally ended for her, and I was like,
oh,
okay, it's done. You don't have to stress anymore. You don't have to freak out. You can just sit there, just knowing you did your best. I was so happy for her when the competition finally ended.
But she forgot butter. Do you really need butter to make a cake, though? Yes.
Kind of a little bit.
My sister's probably watching this and thinking, yes, you need butter in your cake.
So everyone has slip-ups. Greg makes a third of the batter needed. The best part is when he pours it in the pan and it just makes a circle in this giant like rectangle.
That was the funniest moment for this. He was just
like,
is this enough? And I was like, no, Greg.
It's not.
No, Greg, this is not.
It's not enough, Greg. And Fish doubles his recipe, but then he's like totally confused. It reminded me of the meme where the guy is like, and it's all those numbers, so they slide a whole bunch of math across the screen. That was a great production trick too. What did you think about Fish in that moment, Alyse? Were you worried? Were you like, uh-oh, he's gonna flub this?
No, I mean, at least he kind of realized it. I mean, towards the end, it was kind of like, I felt like they all didn't have enough batter. So it was, I mean, when you're on a time constraint, like I said earlier, you kind of just have to make do with what the best that you can. So I think he was trying to do his best, and I had to give him props for that. Because like I said, if I was in that situation, I would probably be freaking out. So the fact that like none of them really had any batter wasn't really helpful, but at least like none of them really like soared above the rest.
Yeah.
So the special buzzer for this time was the Melville buzzer, where she had to read from Moby Dick.
Hilarious.
She's getting heckled. She was like, this is like stand-up. So she actually does stand up. I don't know if you guys were aware, right? Nicole Byer has a Netflix special on, she has a special comedy special on Netflix. Have you guys seen any of her stuff before?
I'm listening to her podcast.
Yeah, I had seen small clips of everything, but nothing super substantial.
I didn't realize she had a podcast.
Yeah, it's called Why Won't You Date Me? It's kind of funny.
Oh my gosh. Look, I'm writing it down. I'm going to have to check that out. That sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. She is so funny. So, okay, so everything's completed. We get to see everyone's completed whale-type creation. Gail did use fondant, and I felt like her color was good. What were your reactions to Gail's creation?
Again, I was just happy she finished something.
Yeah.
Like, was it this episode where Nicole was like, I'm betting she's not going to finish anything? That was for Gail. Yeah, I was in the same boat for this competition. I was like, ooh, if she finishes any of this, I will be so impressed by Gail.
I will say at least everybody had a cooked cake. That doesn't always happen. So everybody's
That's a
cake
fact.
came
Yeah.
out without being
That's a
straight
very
up
good
goop.
point.
So that
That's
was
an
a plus for
excellent
me.
point. So Greg spray painted his Rice Krispie treat. He didn't even make, like, he didn't even do
And then it
that.
like fell over.
What about the stick with the grape on top? That was like the
That
guy
was
in the
crazy.
boat.
That was Ahab.
And
I
then
was
a
like,
collection
I
of
knew it.
grapes
He
on the
did
side.
that.
what was the collection of grapes on the side, Lisa Kay? What was that?
I don't know what he was trying to signify. Maybe those were waves. I'm not really sure. I just could not get with it. I did not know what was going on.
So Greg had the dookie boat, as they called it, which I thought was hilarious. I loved how offended he was by it. He was like, "It's what?" And they're like, "It's a dookie boat."
No, this is exactly what that is. There's no question. That's what it is.
No question. No question. So fish's well is legit, even though it has no teeth. It's easily the best looking. I couldn't wait for them to taste Greg's cake. Can you guys guess why?
No.
I just wanted somebody to taste it and say bursting. Which they did. It did not disappoint. So I was very excited. Very excited about that. So do you guys think from the presentation and taste, were you surprised at the winner? Eric, what were you thinking?
No, I thought from about halfway through this competition, I was pretty sure I was like, yeah, fish. I think fish is running away with this. But I was in the back of my mind, I was still like, come on, Greg, please pull through. Please pull through for me. But in the end, I was not surprised at all that fish was the one winning this. Not at all.
What about you, Alyse? Were you surprised that fish won on presentation and taste?
No, I mean, he did really well in the first time. And the second time, it's always a little bit harder. But I think, like, out of all of theirs, especially like Greg, because Greg just spray painted. I mean, he didn't even use fondant. But I mean, desperate times call for desperate measures. So good on him. But I feel Fish did a pretty good job. And it's funny that his name is Fish and he was making a whale. I was like, Netflix, I see what you did there.
They made sure to book him for that episode.
That's right. They knew he would be the best for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what did you think about Fish being the ultimate winner, Lisa Kay?
I thought it was fitting. I think it's fitting.
And who has our news today?
That's me.
News is Lisa. Thank you.
So if you guys are on quarantine, like clearly we are, you guys know that you need some good snacks. So I've always wanted to try something made by Jacque, and he has fruit and nut clusters out right now.
That sounds great. Okay, and then our special segment.
That is me. So for special segment, I wanted to do something that they did on the show where Nicole had the button that they could press that Gail got because
for this episode, they had to perform Shakespeare specifically, and they had to do like a famous Shakespeare scene. That would have been really fun.
That's a good one. I love that.
Yeah, the competition here. Just to see how long that would have let it go on for.
Yeah, that's funny. I would definitely say I'm gonna just take Lisa Kay's. I love that they would have had to perform Shakespeare. I think that's hilarious. Well, we're out of time. We gotta wrap it up. But can you guys tell us where they can find you? Where our super fans can find you guys online? So we'll start with Eric.
Hey guys, you can follow me on Twitter at EricJewell11. Most of this week, since we're still in quarantine, I'm going to be probably rewatching a lot of this season. So just feel free to live tweet.
And TikTok at Lisa K Satchell.
Awesome. And I am Kay Montgomery. You can follow me at HostK, HostKay on Twitter and Instagram. That's it for us today. We will see you guys for episode.
Thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.